Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Authors Fit. My name is Munira Hussein. Today, I am speaking to Sharon Gwada. Sharon is an author who, like all great book lovers, has more books than her shelf space. Her debut memoir is a deeply personal and courageous account of losing her two brothers to chronic kidney disease. Beneath the covers, she manages to pack in enough emotion to last a lifetime. Readers have found themselves picking the book up just for a moment, only to discover they cannot put it down until they have read the very last page. When she's not writing for, um, when she's not writing or editing books, she's reading them, and when she's not reading them, she's thinking about reading them. So welcome, Sharon.
Thank you, Munira. It is
How
a
are you?
pleasure. I'm okay. How are you?
I am good, thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Um, when I first encountered Best Before '09, it was at the reading, the first year anniversary of the book, I think.
It was not a year yet. It
Was
was
it?
how many months? Because I published it in December 2023, and then the book reading was in 2024. So it was not a year yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect, but I received more than I came for. And we will delve into it at some point. But in the meantime, I would like to know, other than, because this is a memoir, so it's an account of real life experiences. What else have you written? Fiction, non-fiction, or maybe a little recap of your writing journey.
Okay. So I don't have anything published under my name out there besides Best Before 09. But before Best Before 09, I used to do blogs. You remember that era where we had not made it to the to the industry. So I used to do blogs. Then you've asked about the genre. Fortunately or unfortunately, I still did creative non-fiction, real stories. I've never done a fiction before. Maybe that's something I look into in the future. But yeah, I did blogs, a lot of blogs. Yeah.
Is there any reason why you're inclined more towards creative nonfiction or nonfiction instead of fiction?
Instead of fiction. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. I think it's just, I don't know. I feel like we have so much, in as much, I actually respect fiction. I don't want people to think that because I write nonfiction, I actually read more fiction than nonfiction, but I write nonfiction. I just feel like this spectrum is yet to be explored that much. Like people do realities, but they do self-help, they do, but who is telling our stories that we have lived in a creative way that people can actually absorb. So I think that's why I'm more inclined to it. There was no point that struck me or anything, but I just found myself.
True. Because even with the fiction that I write, it's not like I decided I wanted to write fiction. It's just one of those
things that find you.
Find you and you go with them and they turn out to be a great experience. So I absolutely understand. I was reading some of the articles you wrote for Kazini.
You did.
I did.
That's nice.
Motherhood and there's just woman things, pregnancies, and I was like, this is
I have a type.
You do, and it's really interesting. And I was wondering if that is something that is of specifically of interest to you, writing women or writing about women and their experiences. Because when I was reading the motherhood and even the pregnancy. CS versus normal birth, as if there's an abnormal way to give birth to a child. Like,
it beats me.
even if we could sneeze it out, and I really wish we could, it is still,
Me too.
bringing
It's still,
a child into this
yeah.
world. It's very strange that there's an actual debate.
You'd be surprised.
What the hell?
I think prior to motherhood, that is something that I would not even read about. But I think once you go through something, the one thing that we resolve ourselves into is finding knowledge and community.
Yes.
So this is how I came to learn that there's actually a debate between people who have given birth via CS and vaginal. And I was just like, why do we hate each other for
how we
it's
bring
so
a
weird to
child
me.
into
It's so
this
weird to me.
I was like, what do you mean we're arguing? What do you mean?
And it's women, like
yeah, because I don't think men have any opinion or
they
ideas
could impose themselves,
yes.
but it's up to us to like defend each other and tell them, you know what, this is our topic, just stay out. But if we are fighting each other, who is going to fight for us?
That's crazy though. I was baffled. I was like, what? I don't even care how the child came into the planet.
You should just be glad you're both alive and healthy.
You're both doing well. And that I was like, okay, this is one of those things that is a surprise to me. And that's why I think writing is also so important. And I try to read even things that do not relate to me sometimes, because it gives me a perspective of what there is out there, what conversations people are having, what disagreements and what agreements we are having out there regarding different things, whether I think it's important to me or not. I know it's important to humanity in one way or another. That brings me to what you read.
What I read.
What are you reading? What books have shaped your maybe writing life? Yeah.
So you've asked me two questions in one. You asked about motherhood and if that's something I would venture in.
Yes.
Definitely, definitely, because I also feel there are so many stories. Like even that, I've never seen a book. In as much as we are fighting on social media about births, maybe I haven't read it. It's not on my reading list, but I'm sure we can do more. We can do more besides just talking about the birth. We can talk even about what do you call this when someone carries your child for you?
Surrogacy. Yes.
There's also a lot of debate against it, and I'm just like, there are people who cannot give birth, and that's the only option. Why are we fighting them? People are saying you're charging so little for this. It's so interesting. Like I feel there's so much that we can write on motherhood, and we don't have enough people writing about it. So that's definitely something I will look into in future.
Yes.
Then about books that have shaped me, this question feels like, what's your favorite book?
Yeah, I know. It's usually very difficult to answer.
I feel like all the books that I've read, there's always something, even the ones that I don't like, there's always something that becomes part of me, sort of like if you give me how when breath becomes air. I was just So let me take you back. Let me take you back. So I realized I have the books I relate to more than others.
Sure.
So this realization came from there's a podcast I did last year on just a similar one on books, and on the comment section someone said like they think so. I was asked a similar question, like the books that I relate to. Then I named, of course, when breath becomes air. Adam Kay's one, This Is Going to Hurt. And then recently I love The History of a Difficult Child. And then another book that I loved, really, really loved so much, I read last year, is Mommy. So this comment said, like, that person feels like I read sad books because that is my it's my experience. But it just gave me this realization, maybe I don't love sad books. I love good books. But I relate more to sad books because I feel like it's the only time I get to experience my pain again through someone. So I'm like, at least it's not my pain, but I relate. So yeah, those the last two are my current favorite ones.
Amazing. I read When Breath Becomes Air, I think 2 or 3 years ago. And I was incapacitated for days, literally just like lying on the couch and crying endlessly.
So for me, I read it in a mat, so I couldn't cry. I could feel there was something in my throat. I was like, I can't stop reading because I want to know where the story goes. But on the other hand, it's so heavy. Oh God,
so much.
that's my number one book.
Yeah, it's one of those. I don't even want to reread it, honestly. Like, just I don't want to.
Thank God I
And
don't reread books.
I do. So there are books I reread because I feel like
Oh.
there's something left there for me. I'm not sure what
I
it is.
really admire you guys who do. I honestly do, but I feel like I have so much unread books.
Yes, I
but-
know. There's always that battle because there's like a pile
I'll
of books
feel
I haven't read.
guilty.
There are new books I'm still buying.
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
there are books I'm like, if I don't reread this,
Mm-hmm.
I'll feel like I haven't read it exactly how I want to read it.
You guys are
Yeah.
the real book lovers, I think, because I have never brought myself. I can reread parts.
Yeah.
Because that's why I usually I learned parts that I like. So that when I'm arranging my shelf,
Yeah,
I just
you
go
just
through and
go,
reread
yeah,
chapters or
yeah.
sections. But a whole book,
I do really, and I do this a lot with books, like, mark
I think
certain
it's a good
parts
thing. It's a good thing,
and come
actually.
back to that.
Because
And
I
if I
think
have a lot of them in a book, I'm bound to reread it because I feel like there was something there.
that needs a revisit.
Yes.
But I think it's good because one thing that readers usually say is that there's usually something that you realize, just
Yes.
like a movie.
Yeah.
When you watch it the second time, you're like, oh, I didn't realize this.
Absolutely. And there's a writer who was saying that the only thing a lot of us, the only form of art that we love, that we do once or we interact with once is usually a book. Because when we love a movie, we go back to it and watch it again. We can go to the theater and see it and then later watch it again.
At home.
If we love a comedy show, we will rewatch and engage
yeah.
with other forms of art in more than one time. But with books, a lot of people just read it once, and I was like, it's actually very true because we're thinking about the next
book, yeah.
But I feel like maybe the next book might not be and you don't reread it immediately. If you give it a couple of years, there's a book by Charles Chanchori, that's Carnival Mountain. I was even telling him that I read that book a few years ago, and then I was rereading it recently, and it felt like I had experienced the things that were in the book at the same. So when I'm reading it, I reread it with more understanding. And I think sometimes life teaches you things so that when you come back to a book, it's even more relatable than it was the first time. Yeah.
Maybe I'll try. I'm not saying these are those things I say I will never.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's not something that I usually, it's just like, I know the story. Okay, yes, I know there will be another revelation, but my TBR is also piling up.
Yeah, I know.
So there's that conflict.
So, best before 09. We meet Guas, the quintessential middle child with the best of both worlds. Older siblings to look up to and the younger siblings to mentor. He's the smartest, funniest, and the family's center of gravity. Fast forward, tragedy strikes, and he isn't the perfect child anymore. He still keeps the peace but smiles a lot less and speaks a little softer. Everyone jumps in the wagon and tries to wheel him towards the light at the end of the tunnel, but he's a boy with a mountain to climb. Nothing prepares us for what is about to happen. It's not the end we hope for, and I have come to realize there are two endings in life, as it is in the movies: jobs, sports, vacations, children, and books. The ending you want and the ending you get. I love that line.
Thank you.
Yeah, the ending you want and the ending you get. One thing that is very glaring at the beginning of the book is the beatings that the children, you guys, oh my God, I was like, hey, simwache hata siku moja tu.
Wailete chini kidogo.
I was like, dude, calm down. And we had this conversation about violence at home in the name of disciplining a child. And I was wondering how did that affect, first of all, your relationship with your parents, and how different is it now, considering you're an adult, you're a mom?
So at the time, it was happening everywhere. Like you'd even be beaten by someone else's parent. Your parent will beat another child. Like it was just, we were just being beaten, even for something like you just niambe tu niache. You don't have to kill me for every single thing.
I know.
did it change my relationship? I don't think so. Like for me, it was so normal.
Yeah.
It's just now that looking back, I'm just like, no,
That
we
was
should
a
not have
lot.
been beaten
Yeah.
that much. But it has really changed. I am proud to say I am the soft parenting people. Yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
I don't beat my child. I try to, of course, I can cane her kidogo here and there, but
Yeah.
even with that comes an apology at the
Yes.
end. I'm like, I should not have beat you, but please don't
Yeah.
do this. So yeah, that is what it has changed. Like I don't want to raise my kids the same way I was raised. Do I blame my parents? No, because they didn't know better. It was
Yeah.
it was
It
the
was the
era
norm. It
of,
was the
if they
culture.
don't, if you don't do this, they will come out indisciplined or whatever. Did it change my relationship with them? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think maybe because I also don't know if you were raised the other way,
Yes.
how it would have
It would
come
have
out.
turned out, yeah.
But I want to think it didn't. Yeah. Like me and my dad and my mom, we just laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, not
I'm
really.
glad, yeah. Because
And I'm not holding it against them,
Yeah.
though I'm telling them,
Yes.
you should have raised me the same way you're raising your grandchild. You see how
Yeah.
they're so good with their grandchildren, and you're
They
like,
turn into
where
like a whole
was
different
this?
people.
Yeah.
So you
In
knew
fact,
exactly how
they
to
tell
be.
you, don't cane her. My dad.
Who are
I'm
you to
telling you,
tell me? I know. Like, why didn't you just say
no, you
that to
should have done
yourself when
that
you were
in
raising me?
1999.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love because you did set us. You did well. You did set us up nicely for the tragedy to come. And I feel like there were little mishaps here and there of things that were happening. The broken leg, the injection done wrong on Guas. And there's your dad falling in
In
the
the
toilet, which could have ended up, really tragically, and I'm so glad it
It
did.
didn't, yeah.
But it's something you can laugh about now, especially he's still here. So it's one of those things that you're like, oh, wow. So it actually, when I was reading that, I remembered one time I used to go. I have actually never told this story publicly. This is one of those
Wow, I feel special.
very weird things that
Uh-huh.
happen to you that you're like. So I used to go to this school, my lower primary, class 1, 2, 3, and you know how you used to go to the toilet in like a group.
Yeah.
So I went to the toilet with my cousin. It was a latrine, and the floor is sort of cemented, and you know how dirty those school toilets are. So it was very slippery, and I fell in the toilet.
Oh,
But
God.
fortunately, I held my hands to the side, so one leg was in, and the other was on top of like the thing, the toilet floor. And my hands are the ones holding me
Holding you
up.
together, guy.
And I was screaming, and my cousin just opened the door and pulled me out. And the tip of my shoes she got the crap in there. I don't think I even told my parents when I came home because I was freaked out. And now I'm thinking of the whole toilet falling in,
down. Yeah.
and you're the only one there trying to save that situation. I'm
God.
like, what? Because I feel like it's something that would haunt you
If something happened,
if
yeah,
something
yeah,
happened and you
yeah.
did, and you were already feeling guilty. And I feel like there's a bit of that, especially because Gwas kept getting sicker and better and sicker, and it feels like you have moments when you wonder, if you did everything, my God, you did everything you could. And reading it, and I was like, there's nothing else you could have done in this situation.
Oh my God, I'm starting to become emotional. Every single time, even with the book, I'm just like, things are coming to me that are not in the book, and I'm like, oh God, if only this part was in the book, it would have been better. But I think for memoirs, there's you cannot write everything. Even the things you think should be there, you may not even remember it at the time. Especially for me, because I was writing it through grief. I think my grief blurred a lot. Like I was remembering in beats, and you're crying, and you're like, if I don't do this now, I will not do it. Because I think if I waited until 2026 to write the book, it will not have been the same story. It will not have been the same story. So yeah, the moments, not even in the writing, even in in being the sister, like he was admitted. What if I went to the hospital every single day? What, like, I used to carry for him. Like the last time I visited him, I made him a turkey and he didn't eat. My mom was telling me he's not supposed to eat bananas. For me, I thought he was not supposed to eat ripe bananas. So it was, oh my God, it was the most delicious banana I have ever made. So my mom had to eat it. So I'm like, what if I just made rice? Why was I overdoing it? And then it was on a Monday. He died on a Wednesday. It was on a Monday. Then on Tuesday, I didn't go. I don't even remember why. I was just like, I'll just go on Wednesday. And then he died on Wednesday. So I also keep saying, I wish I should have gone on that Tuesday. But even if I went on the Tuesday, I would still be like,
I should have done something else.
I should have been there. But even if I was there, like, there's always that feeling. But there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. You can do your best, and even your best
is not enough.
It's not enough.
And I think that's all you get to do. You get to do your best. You show up. Because you're also dealing with life in addition to that. You are a new mom. You're taking care of a child. You're working. And these are things you must do.
You must
even to be able to take care of this person better.
Now that's the worst thing about life. Like life does not give you up. It's not linear. Like
it doesn't pause and say you need a moment.
Even for you, this is not the only thing you're doing in your life. After here, already thinking, what am I going to eat for supper? How am I going to get money for rent? Like life is not linear. Like things have to go at the same time. Even if you're grieving, you still have to eat. You still have to.
And you know, one thing I appreciated very much when I was reading it, I was glad that despite the illnesses, the financial strain that was put in on the family, you still got to go to school, got to finish, even Gohasen went to school despite, falling ill so many. He was like, no, I must
do it.
Deal with life. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do if I was healthy. And he went ahead and lived as if he had the rest of his life. And there's nothing to regret.
And he was brighter than us who are healthy. I can't forget that my brother got 99 in Kiswahili. Imagine, like, he was brilliant. So you see those people you usually say ni natural choppy. But I really don't think those people kuna watu wa natural choppy. I think we just absorb knowledge differently. But he was so bright. He was so bright. Like, even despite it, I don't know what any other motivation that can be better than that for me.
I know, because I was like, if this person goes to the gym, did the best he could in school.
Especially the gym part. You see how when you go to the gym, you're supposed to take 20 liters of water. He was not supposed to take more than half a glass, but he still went to the gym. He was not supposed to. Oh God. Oh God. But he still did it. He would sometimes he would go for dialysis today, and tomorrow he's at the gym. I was like, are you a Superman? Like, who are you?
I think he wouldn't allow himself to be his life to be intercepted like that. And we sometimes, when we feel like we're going through something and we want life to pause, you can pause your life for a bit, but the rest of life doesn't pause. And if you pause too long, there'll be too much to catch up with, which now starts feeling overwhelming. And I feel like indulging in life a little, even when we don't feel like it, sometimes helps us
go forward,
move forward. And I think it's also what kept him going. The fact that he knew, when I leave this place, I'm going to go do this and this. I'll go back to a little bit of my life. So it might have felt like he was pushing himself too hard, but he was pushing himself to just live the life that he had. Yeah. And I don't know, it's very inspirational in a way, despite the sad moments and the sad ending maybe. I think that was the purpose was fulfilled.
I think that's one of the things that make me really excited about the book, because I didn't want people to just know him for his disease and his death. Like,
absolutely.
he was such an amazing person. You see these videos, these videos on TikTok where your brothers, these silly things your brothers do to you. They come find you reading, they switch off the light. They come, they fart, and then they cover your head. You remain in their Was exactly like that.
Yeah.
So, like, I really wanted people to know that side of his, besides, like, the disease was a part of him, but it was a very small part of the disease.
Yeah.
Like, he used to like, I don't even know. I know people keep saying like you described it so well, but
Yeah.
I still feel it was not
Enough.
sufficient.
Yeah.
My brother used to go for his dialysis sessions for Tuesday and Thursday, and used to go at 6
Yeah.
a.m. in the morning, and there were no queues. Like,
Yeah.
he had moved from Kenish. She was doing dialysis in London Dialysis Center. So he used to be the first, and I asked him, why do you want to go so early? So, like, I want to finish so
Yeah,
that
so I can get on with my day.
I know, but and
Yeah.
then you just sit back and you realize, even after dialysis is 4 hours,
Yeah. Oh,
and it
wow.
leaves you so drained.
Yeah.
But he still looked forward to that. Like, he just want to be done so that oh my God,
Yeah.
he was so, like, even prior to his death, he was so encouraging in the way, like, you'd tell
Yeah.
him, I don't think I'll go to this place. I think I have a running stomach or a headache. He would come, like, it's just a running stomach, and you'll
You
bring
can,
fruits. And
yes.
who are you? Like,
Oh, that's
yeah.
really
So that's
sweet. I think,
that's who he was, and I'm glad, like, we are putting more to his life more than
yes,
the disease and the death.
true.
Yeah,
Because he lived a large life,
very large one.
despite of
Very,
it.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's well captured.
Thank you,
Yeah, you
thank
really
you.
honored him well. And but your family had no history of chronic illnesses prior to this experience.
So we had Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Tony also had
Yes.
chronic
Yes,
kidney
Tony.
disease. But now the funny thing is they were never related. They're not related. Like, I don't
The
remember if
cause,
the doctor said they got the causes. But for Gwas, I remember they told us, for you know how he was sick so many times as a
yes.
kid, so many accidents. So we were told those drugs that they kept injecting him and giving him eventually led to his kidneys failing.
Yeah.
But Tony was never sick a single,
Yes.
like, I don't even remember my Tony now taking a painkiller. So for the causes were,
Very
for him,
different.
it was just bad luck, I guess.
Yeah.
So we didn't have anyone with a chronic disease, not just kidney, but
Any kind.
all.
Yeah.
It was unheard of in our home, and by our home I mean relatives, my
Extended
grandparents.
family.
Yeah, there
and
was no one. Like,
everyone.
we broke the record with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we didn't have a history. And the funny part is when because Gwas was sick fast, despite Tony dying fast, but
Yes.
Gwas was sick. So when Tony was diagnosed, like, do you have a history? You see how they keep asking, do you have a
Yes.
history? And then you're like, yeah, our other brother also has the same disease. But you also have to explain it's not genetical.
Yes. You don't know where it
It's,
came from. It's one of those strange medical things that happen that are
you can't explain,
can't
honestly. You can't
explain.
explain, because, and it's a blessing in disguise, I want to say, because I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think, if Gwas if they had different chronic diseases,
Yes.
will it be better?
Not
I
at
don't. It
all.
will not be better.
Yeah.
But I'm also thinking, looking at the other side, at least we know the drugs. At least we know, like,
Yes.
at least we have information on how to deal, on what to expect.
Yeah.
On that end, at least. And then, would it be better also if it was genetic? No, because I will be here thinking, when am I going to have this disease? Is my kid going to have this? Like,
Yeah.
there's just, I don't know how to look at it,
Yeah.
honestly.
But it keeps you on an alert now to not take, because sometimes you even hear what happens in some of our schools when a child falls sick in a boarding school and they complain that they're unwell, and the teachers and the school, what are they called, nurses, don't take it seriously, and then something tragic happens. And we have this history of not taking an ailment. I do that myself.
Serious.
Like, if I feel unwell, I'm like, a
Ni
nap,
homa
some
too.
water, something
I'll
will
get
fix
better.
it.
Let
Yeah.
me.
And it would be like a long while before I ever consider going to a hospital. And I don't think it's in the African nature to go for regular
The
checkups. It's not something we do. We also do not trust the medical facilities we have. We don't trust the doctors. We don't trust the insurance to even cover us. And that was one glaring thing, like the indictment of the healthcare in Kenya. even the insurance not covering what it's supposed to, the misdiagnosis.
It how can I say this? Because this is not a positive thing.
Yeah.
Like for me, I think them having a chronic disease, the one thing that has done to me that is not very positive is I never used to care like you about the small disease, like ni homa tu, I'll just make a concoction and drink.
Yeah.
It's a headache. Let me take water and sleep it off.
Yeah.
So for me, it's not even about the doctors and the medical situation in the country. I think for me, it's like I've seen worse.
Yes.
Like maybe it's a good thing. Maybe I'm the one who's choosing to look. Like I remember even when my daughter is sick, I don't even panic. I'm just like, I'll take you to the hospital, but I don't panic because I have seen worse.
Yeah.
And until a doctor tells me, you know what, you have a chronic disease,
you will not
I would just take it. Like I feel it's to a point like someone may say I'm being nonchalant about it, but maybe it's a good thing. But because what if I start panicking?
Yeah.
Will you
It
like
doesn't
now
help
if I
much.
would you
Doesn't
like
help
if
to
I
panic.
panicked
Yeah.
beyond this? But them having a chronic disease and them having to be in hospitals so many times.
Yeah.
And then you're saying someone has home and they can still clean the house, they can still.
Yeah.
It kind of just gives me, you know what, Itaisha, whether you go to the hospital, whether you choose concoction, whether you, it will
come to pass.
Yeah, it
one
will
way or
come to
another.
pass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
True.
I think it's both a negative and a
Yeah.
positive at this point.
Yeah. But what was your experience like dealing with two sick siblings and then the healthcare system being what it is? Yeah.
I don't even, where should I start?
Yeah.
Let me start with Eldoret. Because Gwas, when you know, when Gwas first became sick, we were so young, so we were in school.
Yes.
So my the first hand experience I had was with Tony in Eldoret, Moi Technical Teaching and Referral Hospital. 2015, we had just broken up. Was it the long holiday session? And I was just like, I knew it was bad, but I didn't know it was this bad. Like, oh, Jesus, the situation of the hospitals, and it's not just for people who are getting worse. Let's say you recover. For you to be released from the hospital, it's hell. You have to go to which office to clear with what. Like you take one whole, you'd even fall sick again before you leave the hospital. So I think it got better by the time now Gwas was becoming sick. NHF was covering so many things. But now again with Sha, it's like we are going back to that. What is happening? I wish I could sit in a place that said in 2015 this is how it was. In 2020 it got a little better. Now I can say at least there are people who have this disease, they don't have to queue. But I kid you not, if you go to KNH, there are people who have not had their dialysis session for 24 hours because they're queuing. Like it's that, and that's just kidney. And then with the KNH, actually most of these referral hospitals, just so you know how bad the situation is, we have like a whole floor for people with kidney. And then there's another floor for burn victims. And then there's another floor. Like this is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. Why are we not making these systems better? Why are we not importing the machines? So and then the worst part, I remember in Eldoret, yes, they do for you the dialysis, but you have to go and buy the drugs. Like you're at the chemist, I want insulin, you don't even know if you're buying the right thing. Maybe you're there, it's just, you know how counterfeit things are. You could just be buying, like, why are we buying the drugs ourselves? It was so chaotic.
Ridiculous.
It's so chaotic, and it's so sad to see that we have. That's a referral hospital. Now, what about other hospitals? It breaks my heart so much to see that even after all these years, it has not gotten better.
It's changing.
I wish I could do something.
You know what? I feel like we can't do much. I always say, even when people say I don't want to vote and whatnot, like that's the one thing we have. Whether we get it right or not, it's up to us to try.
Yeah.
Whether, because people are like, oh, mbona tupige kura
But
bado utaibiwa.
it's just one. Just do your part.
You do your part.
and
That's
then
all you can do. Then you can put the blame on someone else, knowing that you did what you needed to do. But it's one of those things that healthcare is obviously very political.
It is.
All of our lives, everything we do, education, everything. It's political. So we cannot be apolitical, and especially because sometimes it takes going through that kind of thing. You don't even have to go through it. I think there's a doctor on social media who's actively telling people about the situation at KNH, how they use the same mask for surgical procedures throughout the day. And I'm thinking, that is, and the misfortune of it is that that's for the poor people. If you have money, you can obviously take your patient to a better hospital. And that sort of privatization of healthcare is also what bugs me, because the moment you can have an alternative, sometimes you go to a hospital, even the hospitals, the what's it called, national hospitals, in Marsabit, you go to the hospital and they send you to their pharmacies. The doctors have own pharmacies in town. So they send you to buy medication from their own facilities. So it's as if even some of this medication that is meant for public hospitals comes to these facilities. Sometimes you don't even find a doctor at the hospital. They send you to their facility.
Clinics.
And these are people who can barely afford to buy water. And especially in a place like Marsabit, where you
pronounce it so nicely.
Marsabit. How do you say it?
Marsabit.
Marsabit. Yeah, it's home. So the least I can do is pronounce it right. Yeah, so it's that experience of the whole time I was frustrated reading online is like the healthcare, and I keep thinking, because it's something that is usually. My grandpa was sick one time, and he was admitted to a hospital in Meru, and my uncle calls me from Meru and says, we need medication, but it's not here. We need you to buy it from Nairobi and send it. On my way to buy the medication, I lose my phone. It's stolen on the matatu. So I don't get to buy the medication that day because I don't have a phone. He'd written me the prescription of the medication. So I have to find his number. So I did that the next day and sent the medication. And by the time it arrived, my grandpa had passed. And it's something I keep thinking about. Like, if it had gotten to him sooner, would he be alive? Better? It's all these things. And we write about it. And it feels like this is a story we keep telling. And
but nothing changes.
I wake up and hope that one day I'll read a book like this. Like when the doctors from Barcelona come in, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe there's hope, I mean, unfortunately, by the time I was reading the book, I knew the ending. But then when I was reading it, I was like, maybe something will happen that will change the course of this story. And I don't know, what are we supposed to do?
We are making,
other than which is very important, obviously, tell the stories, write the stories, be it fiction, be it a memoir, be it in poetry. What do we do?
I don't know what we can do, but all I know is we are making one step forward and 2 steps back. And if only that can be the reverse, only that can be reversed, like if we can just, I don't know, in what I realized with developed countries, the public sectors, even the public schools, they do so much better. Like a private hospital will just be struggling uko kwa kona, nobody even cares. Hiyo ni biashara yako. It's just like any other business. Exactly. You do what you can with your business. But I feel you see this private facilities, they're flourishing because of how badly the public like you see a doctor who works at KNH, he knows the drugs that are in the pharmacies, he knows the ones that we need are not there. So they might not even be stealing from there. he could just be say, this is a business opportunity. Let me go open my own pharmacy, my own chemist, and then I restock these drugs that people need so much.
Yeah.
And I can't even blame them, honestly. I can't, like, if we had better public facilities, we wouldn't even be talking about this more. Like, from my house to where the matatu drops me off, I think there are 4 clinics.
Yes.
4 clinics. Like, it's less than, it's maybe 200, 300 meters. And there are that many hospitals. And we don't have a public hospital in the area. I think the only public you have to go to Umoja. I don't know of any in Donholm.
Yeah.
And it's by the I'm just realizing that now, and it's so crazy to me. Like, why don't we have one public hospital per?
I don't.
What do we call
we
them?
need more of those everywhere, and also, not just a lot of hospitals, but
they need to have those facilities. Like, I should not be able to come. Imagine you have to come from, I don't know, in Marsabit. Do you have a kidney and hospital that?
To my knowledge, yeah.
You see, like, someone has to travel from up country to come to Kenyatta.
Yes.
And then you come, and then you like 50 people who are waiting for the same machine.
Because we're all traveling from different parts of this country to come to this place to get treatment. And it was also an experience your family had with, moving us up about a lot, looking for a doctor, looking for a hospital, looking for even someone who actually understands, a nephrologist, someone who gets what's going on. So even finding an what are they called? A specialist like that is a task. And it's just one of those devastating things that I hope we don't have to tell stories like this for much longer, honestly.
I really hope so too. I really hope
so too. There's a sense
of
hope, and there's a sense of resolution that comes with us telling these stories, it motivating us to do something, to take action.
And I'm actually thinking we don't even have to wait for the government. Like, I feel the diseases that have like much limelight because other parties have come to play, not necessarily because they are affected. Like, I see a lot of heart runs. Why do we have there's so much exposure on hearts and what, but I have never seen on kidney. The only time I would see people outside marching is on World Kidney Day, and that's the second second Thursday of March. And it's so crazy. Like, we don't have to wait for one day in a year to do a march, to do a sensitization thing. We can just organize something. I have the idea, but I don't have the reason.
Now I think the task is up to you to tell us when, where, and we will be there.
I'll think about it. Think about it.
It's a very good idea, actually, to just create awareness. And it's also a sense of solidarity with families and people that are going through this experience, because I imagine it creates a sense of loneliness and isolation because you're constantly sick, and then your family is constantly in need of help, which can feel like a burden to the people in your life, or you think you're burdening people even when the people might not feel like that. And what was that like, that phase of seeking support, and then especially for your brothers who are going through I feel like Tony's experience was short-lived because it was a surprise, first of all. I mean, Gus's was a surprise too, but he had a longer exposure and experience through the ailment. But then Tony's was an ambush because I don't think anyone suspected it could be a kidney disease.
It places you in a very vulnerable position, especially because you have to ask money more than once. Like, yes, you have given me, but it's not enough. I want another one. And who has that luxury to just be giving you money? And it really puts you in a vulnerable position, and you have to go out of your way. I remember we had to involve our classmates, our teachers, the church, like, until, like, you beg until there's nowhere else you can beg. You're just like, and then the worst part is, back in the day, we didn't have social media. I could just open my TikTok and go live and just beg until you people give me money or I die. It was so different. Even the performer, it was physical. Like, someone had to write their name and give you 50 shillings. Like, it was even just getting the ad on the newspaper, on TV, it was hectic. And then, yes, you have spent 10,000 to put this ad on the news, but how much will it bring? It brings even less than that. Like, you go out of your way to ask for money, and then it doesn't pay. So it leaves you in a very vulnerable place. And then I think for Tenny, it was a surprise, as you have said. Like, this is someone who was never sick. He never went to a hospital unless for the things that boys involve themselves and get into accidents. But other than that, he was never sick. And then you're already dealing with Gwas. All eyes are on Gwas. He needs a transplant. He needs Sejonin. And then, Tony again, the same disease. What do we do? There's so much confusion. There's like, you don't like. I really think my parents are strong because I don't even know like how much they even had to protect from us.
I know.
Like, sometimes I just try to sit down and just think, how did they do this? Like, how did my dad was a teacher. My mom just had a small salon, like, and we needed 2M. And it's the funny thing is, if they tell you transplant is 2M, you need about 4M. You need about 4M because like this boy needs to go to the hospital. That's money you've not captured in this one you're asking. You need food. You need. It's like I just send grace to anyone who has a chronic disease because it's a lot. The sickness part is just a small part of it. The other parts are the ones that I feel they weigh you more down even than the disease. Yeah.
It's really intense, my goodness. And we always say health is wealth, but you don't know what that means because you're not dealing with anything serious. But sometimes when I catch a flu or something that actually puts me down and I can't do the things I do in a day, is when
That's
I'm
when
like,
it really is.
health is wealth. But even that is on a very small scale because I know in 2-3 days I'll be
You'll
back
be
up.
fine,
And I don't think we are grateful enough for how healthy we are.
We are not. We are not. We really take it for granted.
Yeah.
And it's so unfortunate that we have to wait to get to that point that you don't have a choice to be told you can only take a half a cup of water is when you
that's it's very intense. And I'm so glad you shared the experience with us, and also in form of a memoir, because it actually allowed me to indulge with like everything. Because with fiction, sometimes some parts of it might not be true. So you feel it.
Plus you get to dictate how the story goes. If you don't like the character, you just kill them off.
But
you introduce someone new. But this
you
one
have no choice but to tell the story how it is. And you have told such a story of strength, resilience. The whole time I was thinking about your parents, and I was like, my goodness,
how did they do
and
it?
your mom especially, she gave her kidney, and I feel like she can stand in front of the world and say, I did everything I could for my kid. And both your parents did, honestly. And your dad taking up the responsibility when your mom was in the hospital with Gwas, like they all showed up with everything they have. And I was like, this is such a show of, I don't ever want my strength to be demanded of me, because sometimes I'm like, yeah, I know I'm strong, but
I keep
don't
saying
ask me to be strong.
It's funny because I keep saying that. People keep telling me, oh, you're strong.
I
not. I don't have
want
a
to
choice.
be,
And I don't want to ever be in this situation
Yes.
again.
Like, let the universe not get ideas about testing me.
I
don't want to prove myself in any way. But I feel like the situation called for it, and your family really did prove.
I know. If there's one thing that I will be forever grateful for is that there was no point that, of course, there are times when let's say my mom would be now on her lowest, but my dad will make up, or my sister will rise. Like, there was always balance. Hakuna siku ilikuwa like, no, we all don't feel like doing this. Each and every day, at least there was someone standing up for and with them. So I think my family, if there's one testament that I have to every day when I just go on my knees, the first thing I say, God, thank you for my family, because they we show up for each other in
Yes,
ways
it's
that I
really
can't. You know,
beautiful.
my sister is the only person who has been to my event, all
Yeah.
my events. Like she
Yeah.
normally comes, even like you see how book events like are considered such a small thing. I'll just
Yes.
go to the launch, buy the book, and then it's it. My family, they came for the book. The book
Yeah,
reading was
they
the second event,
did.
and
Yes.
everyone was there.
Yeah.
I had an anniversary celebration, and they were there. I was just like,
It is
and they also give me this
wonderful.
sort of a consolement that you may not show up, but at least my mom, my dad, and my
Yes.
siblings will be there.
Yeah, and you know, the beauty of it is that if you stood together through such a difficult time and there's something good happening now, then why not
Why
be there
not?
for it
Yeah,
with the same
yeah,
energy?
yeah.
Because I know that the terrible things in life will come. We don't have to ask for them. We don't have to
Exactly,
summon them.
exactly.
They
They'll
will
just
happen. They're
come.
bound to come. The challenges of life are inevitable, but we create the good moments. We have to be very deliberate about
And very intentional,
curating,
yeah.
yes, about curating the
Happy
happy moments
moments.
of our lives. And so if you put up a happy moment, your family must be a part of it, especially
I'm
because,
so proud and
yeah,
happy
I'm
that I was
glad.
born in this family.
Yeah.
Despite like I hate
Yeah.
that we had to know how much we can stand for each other
Yes.
because of this. I wish I would just have found it when they came for my graduation or
Yes,
something. But
yeah.
unfortunately, this is our path.
Yeah.
But even in that, I'm just grateful that
Yeah.
oh, I have people who can give me. You know how people
Yes.
make fun of. I can give you my kidney. Like
Yes,
as
it's
for us,
actually they
it's
have
actually true.
proven that they can't give you your kidney.
Yeah.
That's lovely. So what message would you have for any family that is dealing with the healthcare sector, a sick patient or family member who's going through the experience that your family went through?
I usually find it so hard to give advice because
Yeah.
like it's
You
so
can't even use it in that
because
moment.
even
Yeah.
even for me, if someone told me to stay strong, okay, because what other choice do I
You don't
have?
have a choice.
So what I can just tell them probably is just stick up for each other. Like even in the face of uncertainties,
Yeah.
the small love, the small thing that you think, the one thing that you think is small
Yeah.
might be so big in someone else's life.
True.
Because I remember when my brother died, how many? 3 or 2 weeks after his birthday.
Yeah.
We celebrated his birthday in the hospital, and a random idea just came to me. So I went and to Naivas and got this. You see these small cakes that,
Yes.
and he was so happy. He was so happy, and I was like,
Yeah.
wow, if I knew, I would have bought you a
Yeah,
bigger
bigger
cake.
cake. Yeah.
But imagine how that small thing, of all the random things
Yeah.
I try to like, it's the smallest thing that anyone can do. But
Yeah.
he was so excited. He's posted it on his status. I was just like, wow,
Yeah.
this is nice. So my advice will be, do the small things. Do the small things. Don't
Yeah.
think you are not a doctor. You're not going to do the
Yes.
transplant.
Yeah.
You may not even be.
Yep.
Even if you're a caregiver, you might not even have. Even if you wanted to be there, you cannot be there for them
Yes.
24 hours. But
True.
visit them, encourage them. Just be there. For me, it will
Yeah.
just be there and do the small things, because everyone is so focused on the big
Big
things.
things,
But who is
yes.
doing the small stuff?
Yeah,
So do the
'cause
small stuff
they
and
match. They're the
just
things
be
that
there.
give them hope and
Yeah,
make them
because I also
feel.
remember, the days that I couldn't make, and it was like, why didn't you come?
Yeah.
And if you can go, I know you will not be able to go to all the visits,
Yeah.
but just go. You don't even have to carry something. Just go. There are times we just sat on his bed, storing and laughing about other stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, do the small
Show
stuff
up.
for me.
Yeah. So there's a scene in the book where Gus is asking for help from a nurse and this nurse is not showing up. Do you think to an extent medical personnel get desensitized to the sufferings of the patient? Because we've seen even like these stories that women in labor tell of how the nurse is like, ulikuwa unafanya hivi, ulikuwa expect, like, that kind of language, that kind of, and it's not just with women in labor, but generally when you go to a hospital half the time, you don't feel like your pain is taken seriously. And luckily, sometimes it's not that serious, but you're scared.
Yeah, but and
As
plus,
a
even if it's
patient,
not serious,
yes,
you need to know that it's not
it's not.
serious.
You're
Yeah.
scared because the moment you're in a hospital for anything,
They need to take you seriously, because there's no one who just loves to. I can lie that I'm sick and stay in the home in my house, but the fact that I actually went to the hospital, I think I deserve to be looked at and told, you know what, you're just overthinking. This is your issue. So yes, I actually think I don't know if they've blocked. I don't even know the right term for it, but yes, they have. Like our issues are so
mundane to them.
Yeah, like it's so. I've seen this. There was someone who was worse than you, and they walked out. But we are different. We have different. So yes, it happens, and it did happen to him. And he was you know that's the worst part. He was so young, and then this happens. And then, and the other reason why I feel it's still even happening to this moment, like during Corona, I had to go and pick medication for him at KNH, and then they're just like, and him, why is he not here? And I'm like, don't you have the memo?
He's actually susceptible to this thing more
we
than
were actually under
else.
lockdown. He cannot come. I cannot go. I have to be the one who collected. And then he just casually said, you could be picking medicine for someone who is dead. Why would I do that? Why would I leave my house at 9 a.m. in the morning to go and steal medicine? Like, it doesn't even make sense. I think, I don't know, but it's also weird that you've been in that environment, but you're not compassionate. Like, you'd think, I've been here, oh my God, a little encouragement is all you need. But now they do the opposite. Like, I've seen a lot, and you're not fast, you're not special.
That's the more reason why I think we should. It's the same way I feel about the suffering we see in the world sometimes. There's not one time. One time I was at an event, and this person asked, how do we not feel, or how do we continue to feel compassion, or even through our creative process as we write about the sufferings of the world in different capacities. And I was like, I don't want to wake up any day of my life and not feel compassion. I don't want to not cry for some stranger who's suffering. The same way I cry for strangers who are happy. I see something good happen that people post about. It makes me feel good. Even those Got Talent thing is where people go sing and then they get, and then they tell this story of how they had cancer or something, like something, and I'm like, I feel good for these people.
You're so happy that they came out of it and they went after
and
their
I feel
dream.
the exact same way when someone is going through a tragedy. There's not one day I'll see Gaza or Congo online and not feel
bad.
like
and you just be indifferent. It's so I don't know what level of humanity you have to be indifferent. Like, maybe you not post about it, maybe you not make noise on social media about it, but you don't also feel like, oh my God, this should not be happening, and it's someone is controlling it. Like,
exactly. I know I couldn't possibly be a doctor because whenever I go to the hospital, I might actually end up on the hospital bed because I will for sure pass out, especially when I see the IVs. I feel like, oh my God, or someone's not breathing well. I'm like, I start panicking, I feel such heavy emotions. There's a time I used to go to the cancer ward, children's cancer ward at Kenyatta University, Kenyatta Hospital. And I was like, these are children. Why?
I know why.
Why?
What have they done?
What have they done? These are kids. And you bring them coloring books and you color with them and you read with them and they're very happy. And I cannot be in that space because I will be crying. And I don't think that's what they need to be seeing in that moment. And I was like, I will send whatever I can, but I can't be there because I am not positive light. I am not hope. I feel like if there's a God in that moment is when I'll be like, kuja nikwambie kitu.
Umulize why. But you see, now that is the small thing that I am saying, like, you don't have to go out of your way you don't even have to give 1 million to a family if you don't have it, but just going there and coloring. And I'm sure there's a kid who just say, oh, there's the
Yes,
people who
I
came and we colored,
know.
and that's the best
Yeah,
day of their
their
lives. Yeah,
lives. I
so
know.
the
But
small
also, if
things
you
go
have the
a
one
long way.
million, please give to the
Of course.
families.
Of
Yeah,
course, we'll
please
have
give,
you have
donate to something. There's also something you mentioned that I think would be a very important information for us to put out there about seeking funds for Gwasis education for persons with chronic illnesses. I
illnesses.
didn't even
Yeah.
know something like that existed. Do you have any institutions in mind that fund or help educate people who are
Unfortunately, I don't know any. Maybe because we were not successful. We were
yeah
just, but there are those who are doing
within universities in Kenya
for
or just private or
no,
separate
it's private and
institutions?
NGOs
Okay.
mostly. And then the other thing, usually they do it for persons with disabilities.
Uh-huh.
It's
Oh,
very
okay,
difficult.
not
Even when we were
chronic illnesses.
even when we were applying, we had to put him under a
Yes,
persons with
with
disability, and
disability.
then we'll be dismissed because that is the reason we had put.
Yeah,
We really don't have
for
institutions.
for chronic.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
I grow up, I'll do a kidney foundation
Yes,
and
please. Please do. That
and
would be very
sponsor
important. Yeah.
kids with the chronic kidney disease.
Yeah.
But the focus usually is on persons with disabilities,
Yes.
and people who do. It's not even the government, of course.
Yeah.
NGOs and private entities
Yeah.
who do it.
Yeah. I
So
feel like
it would be interesting to
through all
know.
these
Mhm.
conversations, I'm
And then there's
realizing how
one for
useless
cancer,
the
by the
government
way.
is. Oh,
There's
okay.
there are ones. I don't. Is it which bank is it? Is it Equity? Yeah, yeah. They
That's
usually sponsor
cancer
kids. Yeah,
patients.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's really amazing because I feel like we need, because the family is already dealing with so
Yeah,
much. So
it's
on top, dealing with education on top of that is also, because that's an
oh,
issue at
and
that
I'm
point.
thinking schools could even do better. Like,
Yes,
let's say this
sponsor.
family is already going through a lot.
Yeah.
Let's do half school fees, or
Yes.
even let
Let's
them only pay
waiver
for
the
food.
school
Yeah,
fees
waiver
because
the
it's
school fees.
one kid anyway. So, and they're probably not gonna be in
They
school
won't
all
even
the
feel the pain.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. So
Now
I think
that
it's
is
on.
the other thing. They
Yeah.
won't be in school.
Yeah, and you're paying full fees for someone who's
Yeah.
going to
I
miss
wish like
exams. Yeah.
that's why we say not you don't have to have gone through it or to
Yeah.
be affected to do something. Like
True.
a random school can
Yeah.
just say, you know what, if you are sick, if you have a disability,
Yes.
you don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll cross the other bit. I
Yes.
wanted to say like no everyone people will take all their kids with,
Yes.
but if we had like 10, 20 schools
Yes.
is it per county
Yeah.
that does that, we
Yeah.
won't all be cramming to that one school
One
who
school
does,
that
it could
helps.
even be, yeah, because
Yes.
the other probably you'll probably and have to undergo is to now start telling you know what,
Yeah.
we already have 20 who are not paying school fees, try
Yeah.
somewhere else.
Yes.
But it will be a very good thing to venture in.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a relief for a lot of people. So it's
Very,
probably
very,
something
yeah,
we
yeah.
should look into as a society. Thank you so much for joining me. This has
Thank
been an
you.
emotional conversation. I know I don't think I can talk about my grandpa without ever like tearing up. So I try not to though. But it's grief, it's loss, it's survival, it's strength, it's everything that life demands of us. And I'm so glad to see you healthy, happy, despite, and you still have your family strong and together. So I hope everyone is well.
Yeah, everyone
Uh,
is well. And thank you for having me. I think I've done it so many times
yeah,
until now I'm training. You know what?
yeah,
Don't cry. Don't cry. You go
yeah.
and cry at
You
home.
could cry. Yeah.
Yeah, I could, but
Mm.
I tried not to
Yeah.
because, yeah, it's life.
It's absolutely okay,
Yeah.
honestly, because there's no timeline on when grief should end. It never
Mm-hmm.
does, and it's the least we can do for the people we loved
Yeah.
and lost. It doesn't mean we don't love them anymore. We just love them in absentia. So
Thank
it's
you. Thank
okay
you. This was
miss them.
amazing.
Thank you. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Authors Fit. My name is Munira Hussein. Uh, See you next time and have a lovely time.